So at the core of my analysis, what I'm trying to talk out is what are we doing as magicians, witches, practitioners of whatever sort you wish, other than making contacts with the other side of various sorts. What's it all about? So it's energy, right? So it's energy, and this energy, no matter how we try to look at it, that's what we're doing. We are learning to work with energy, even to the point of shifting our energy to another plane. So, outside of all the evocations and, stuff like that, the Hebrew and all that other stuff that is basically just trying to explain this energy from an antiquities point of view, which does not necessarily guarantee its authenticity. That's sort of like what it's all about when you get down to the core of it. We are energetic beings learning to manipulate energy, ourselves, existence, others. That's magic. Is creating our reality by manipulating that energy into the form we wish for it to take. So if we get down to the essentials, the exercises that leads to our ability to do that, is really what we're looking for, right? So, yeah. Those exercises are like feeling energy. Yeah, okay, you can do some, like ceremonial magic in which you invoke the planet Jupiter on the angelic hour, etc., etc. But do you feel what is going on? Do you feel the energy that is being invoked? And if you're not feeling it, I don't think it's complete in the process. So we rub our hands together and we find that cushion of energy, and we feel that, and we expand it and close our eyes, and then we can see it in our hands, between our hands, and we can use our will to change the color of it into whatever part of the spectrum we want, and that particular color contains a certain quality. So we can use those color correspondences to come up with a certain quality of energy and a type of energy, and use that energy in our exercises and our processes. That's all the Kabbalah talks about, is manifestation from thought to form. In any magic system, that's what you're going to come up to the realization of, is that it all is about manifesting, and the system in which we can do that. A lot of people say that magic is the key thing is intention. I personally think it's emotion. I think the younger self is what makes the magic happen in the subconscious. And in so doing, that's what we have, is that that younger child at play that enjoys playing with our toys, our daggers. Of course we do charge them, and we use them for extra energy on the more, left brain side of our consciousness. We know that we're using those to add extra energy to our process, because our bodies can only handle so much. So we have to use a lightning rod, kind of like a great staff. Or, in my case, I have a wand that can handle some serious energy because of the way it's designed, because it was designed by an electrician that happened to also be a sorceress. So, again though, the magic is energy. I mean, we see the storms that that show the big trouble in Little China. The storms and how they can manipulate that energy. And that's kind of why I got into magic, was to cast lightning bolts and fireballs. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to be part of some holy fucking war. I didn't want to necessarily make connections with beings on the other side. I wanted to be the main being that I'm making a connection with. I want to be the one that is standing in my own power and finding my own ability. I don't want to pray to somebody, other being, to be like, hey, do this for me, when I can do it myself. That's one thing about Hecate, is she's all about sovereignty, doing it for yourself. So I do recognize that Hecate is there to assist people, and that is literally what she is. She's like the goddess of the witches, and as our most well-known aspect. The queen of the witches, goddess of the witches, whatever. And that's what she's about, is the sovereignty of helping her, those that recognize her and appreciate her and honor her, to assist them in becoming like her as a goddess, or as a deity, and embracing their own power, their own magic. So, yeah. Now the process in doing that, moving energy, Tai Chi, feeling that, moving to another plane and feeling that Tai Chi, you're still using Tai Chi on another plane, and working with the So it's push and pull, the force and form of the movements to bring about the principle of gender, which is really principle of generation. Generating the energy that you feel whenever you do it, and you know you do it, and your arm hairs raise up on your arms, or if you shave your arms, or like I do, or you just like don't have any arm hairs, you still get like bumps, and that's from electricity, that's from energy rolling up and down your body, and causes your hair to stand up on end in the back of your neck, type of stuff. It's all there. I mean, it's all part of the magic process. So yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm just thinking out loud, but I'm trying to organize my thoughts into a coherent system that I can explain in such a way that it's like understood at the bare bones basics of what it is we're doing, what magic feels like, what magic is doing when it's being done. Obviously, there's the will involved with the younger self. You get into the symbols, the psychology of it. We know that symbols connects directly to our subconscious and carries a lot of energy with it. Possibly even so as far as older seals go. Still, again, antiquity doesn't equal authenticity, but you still have the inertia created by these seals, that you could liken to ruts in a road. You can either pave your own road and it's brand new, and with direction and focus and discipline, you can definitely create that road directly where you want it to go. Or you can take these seals, these symbols, and roads that people have already made, use them to direct the energy, and the energy already knows where to go. You can almost let go of the steering wheel, and it will go where it's always gone, using that seal, using that particular symbol. And it carries with it that inertia, it carries with it that energy. It's like a nostalgia of the soul, I guess you might call it. So, yeah, the rest of it, we was talking about grimoires and stuff of that nature earlier. Those are all recipe books. Those are all cookbooks on, here, use this road. Use this particular energy for this particular reason. I've got this contact that I can hook you up with, and they know this road really well, type of thing. And as long as you know what you're doing, then you won't get caught in the psychological insanity that you could put yourself into if you use the correct steps in doing so. And just because somebody thinks they're like this grand poobah, master magician type of individual, does not mean that they cannot drive themselves crazy without having the proper technique behind them. The way I look at it is between here and there, this and that. Here and there is really good because, like on a geometric plane, you have a plane that's a geometric plane, let's say. We'll just use a rectangle for an example, or a square, since that's just perfect, and it's got the right angles and all that stuff. But at any rate, It's just a square. It's a flat plane. It has no thickness. It only has length and width. And that's it. But what defines on that plane here and there? Nothing. We have to define that ourselves. We have to define that plane ourselves and be like, or define that here and there. And the best way to do that, as far as we are concerned psychologically, is with a circle. If you take a square and you just draw a small circle in it, everything outside of the circle is there, and everything inside the circle is here. Or the other way around. Everything inside the circle is there, everything outside of the circle is here. But you have a boundary. You have a division point where that you can separate this from that. Or, if you will, sanity from insanity. Because we have to create a boundary. We have to have a set of psychological rules, because in Magick we technically are, in a way, driving ourselves crazy. We are taking ourselves out of reality that we know, of the secure and the familiar, and going into the great beyond, into the unknown. And when we do that, it's better to have some kind of reference point to say, okay, I am creating this point, this circle, that is going to be insanity. And everything outside of that, is still quote-unquote sanity. Of course, define those however you will, but still, just to kind of give you an idea of the actuality and the reality. Reality can definitely be, for some people, insanity. So just because something people think is real or reality, it really can be in a state of insanity that they view that reality, because that's how they believe it. So now you've got actuality and you've got reality. And your little reality is inside that circle, and that is where you open the door. When you open that door, that's where you're at. You can open that door, you can put like a circle around your bed, like I was talking about for astral projection, in a previous conversation. And then what you could do is, in that astral projection, first you want to create your circle. You create your insanity. This is the reality is like wherever you're laying down at, your bedroom or on your couch or outside on the grass or what have you, under the moon. But whenever you create this boundary, what you are doing is you are setting a place for you to safely go insane, in a manner of speaking, where that is your reality. It's crazy, holy shit, about to go in, off the deep end type of stuff. You're astral projecting, visiting places like Valhalla or the Egyptian afterlife or what have you, because it all exists because of our beliefs en masse. Through that, we create, we manifest, what we think we create, what we believe we manifest. So all the gods and goddesses, the realms and all that stuff has continued to manifest through our beliefs in it. So everything that you have ever heard of, as far as realms go, the happy hunting grounds, Elysian fields, all that stuff, is real. It exists somewhere. And that somewhere is created by us in our outside of the realm of sanity, so what most would call insane, is because it goes beyond the norm. It's not normal for people to lay in somewhere and leave their body and go to these different realms as per it is accepted by the average society. Is it normal to us? Well, sure, it's normal to us because we understand it as perfectly fine. And I guess I really should say that actuality is what actually is, and reality is what we kind of make it. So, and you can meet each other on the different planes. So there is an actuality there. There is a meeting of realities, I guess you could say, in that. So perhaps actuality it'd be a better way to say it as far as our insanity goes, and our reality is what we make sane. What's real. It's like you're not in reality anymore. Well, no, I'm in actuality. I've got this little circle in which I go to where stuff is actual, where it is beyond the scope and understanding of your average human being. So yeah, and we all know it's all natural. There's not a witch that does not. There's not one witch that truthfully believes in the supernatural, because it's all natural.